Ready? It's in the chat.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of the Susu podcast. I've got my host here, George, Blue Clot, I Am Plants. Before I introduce them, we're going to give you a little sneak preview into today's agenda. We're going to kick you off with a recap of the very exciting Navy versus Futera United game. We got some clips, coming from the two lads over here. They're going to break down some exciting moments. We'll take you through that. Then we're going to turn the page. Where are we going? What is our next fixture? What is the club up to today? Then lastly, I'm going to have a little teaser. I saw some throw-ins. Again, this little American coming in here looking for opportunities where the game doesn't make sense. Throw-ins don't make sense. So I've got a clip from my beloved Ashton Villa that we're going to talk about. Boys, welcome to episode 2. George, how are we feeling today? Susu.
I'm good. I'm good. Ready for this? It's been a long day, but it's later for you, so I'm good. I'm ready to go.
That's what we absolutely love to hear. Blue, any words
How's
for
it
the
going, mate?
Susu faithful?
Sue. Yeah, I'm all good, mate. It's early for you, isn't it, rather than late?
Actually, no. That's the last time we recorded about 3:30 in the morning my time. We are at a cool 2:15 p.m. for me. So I'm just getting my weekend started. The energy is super
Are you all
high,
right
honestly, over
then?
here.
Ah, it's mid-afternoon. That's right for you then.
Oh, yeah, that's why I told you boys. We could do any time you wanted today. Like I'm chilling. I'm chilling. All right. So, we teased the agenda. What I'd like to do is I want to talk about this Navy game. I know we had some off-air chatter about how this was. What I'd like to do first, I got up here on the screen. We got the starting 11. Initial thoughts. Blue, I want to go for you first. Initial thoughts on the team sheet. Any surprises? What were you thinking?
Uh, no surprises for me. I thought that's a team that we should have started with. We got the experience from Nui up front, the old guy that was once a ex-Thai international. And on the opposite side, left wing, we had Bean, who was like 16, 17. Should I say probably like 17, 18 now. So good mix of youth and experience.
All right. I think that's well said, George. What do you think of the team sheet when it initially came out?
Yeah, I think it was good. Good selection. Again, who I would have picked. I think the most important role is that midfield three. In the formation, I think they're the best three that we could have gone with. I don't think there's much anyone else that could have really filled that slots. And it looked, from what I've seen in pre-season and to now, it's probably the best selection we could have gone with.
All right. I mean, I love that. And when I look at the bench over here, I see golf, not getting the start. That's been something consistently for us. We've been looking for that goal scorer. For me, what popped out is putting Pooh up top. He's my boy. Everyone knows how much of a crush I have on Pooh. Love him. But him over golf. Any
I think
thoughts
I'm
on that
wearing.
one,
Yeah,
boys?
yeah, I am. It's all right.
Who,
Just
because
just checking the name on the back of my shirt.
who was it that came on in the pre-season friendly that did well against the university team? The cones were like marking out the pitch. I can't think who that was because we looked, the striker that started wasn't the greatest, but the one that came on um looked a lot better. But I can't remember who exactly they were.
What
It was
position
a
are we
game where
talking?
striker,
That was Pro that came on for gold, I believe.
yeah,
Hmm.
who looked a lot better than the player that
What?
started. I
Yeah,
was
this is one of those tie things again. We're talking about poo or poo and pro. So we would that's uh Brian mentioned poo and you thought he meant pro. And this is one of the problems that we're gonna have. So I think we might end up giving pro a nickname at some point. So I've been wanting
and
to
with
call him
with
pro
with
Link.
with with my speech as well. It's gonna be even worse.
Oh mate, come on. Me and you are both double dutching.
All
Yeah,
right.
no, Prue, who came on for goal, is a lot liver, he's a lot faster. Prue
Yeah.
was playing right wing number 11 on this game. And yeah, he absolutely cooked a couple of their players. It was quite enjoyable
Hmm.
to see. So yeah, he did really well. Goal actually came on in this match in the second half. Didn't do too badly, but obviously didn't score either. But our threats were coming from down the wings from both Nui and, well, I think Nui was moving inside a little bit, to be honest. But yeah, anyway, there was quite a lot of interchange going on there.
Well, I think you did a really nice job teasing that. What I'd like to then do is let's get into this game. Let's get in this game. We've got some clips for the folks at home. We're going to start here in the 38th second, right? Right at the beginning. I would like to do is break this down, and George, give us your clips, and please let me know when you'd like me to pause it.
Oh, yeah. We play it through. So I think the reason I got this clip is because you could see we've started off the mentality of keeping the ball, and then here you see a nice switch over to the right wing. We keep it well, look after it, and it's like as soon as we go forward, we're scared to everyone to join in. So you've got two or three sort of join the attack, and then you'll see a couple of players don't really they're hesitant to join in, and it ends up getting all the way recycled to the keeper. And it's sort of in that moment, it sort of felt that was how we're setting up, and it set the tone for me of how we're going to play. Like, you look, we've had a chance, edge of the box, all the way back at the keeper, and it was sort of that thing of that early in the game. If you're getting forwards, that's when you sort of can we set a benchmark. This is another clip here. So if you want to go back to the original one, sort of thing. So it's here. We win it in the midfield.
Watching this here, so that's June number 10. That's Ian Bill, and then my phones are left back there, and then we've got Cone and Stewart in centre back. But yeah, he's basically trying to hit the right wing at that point. And as George said,
this part's done perfectly.
Straight inside as well, outside, inside, outside. What I like to see. And then
let me ask a question. So what you're saying here is we've worked so hard to get the ball up the pitch. I froze it right here. We've got the ball with two guys in an attacking position. This is an opportunity where you need to get the ball in and be an attacking threat instead of kind of be conservative. When they come, the opportunities come, you got to seize it.
Yeah. Especially so early as well. To get the back line turned and spun, and then to come back and then go all the way back home is just sort of set the tone of how it looked like we were going to play, which it was sort of a bit like if he could just hung one up there for us to attack, but yeah, we then recycle it all the way back.
2-on-2. It was basically 2-on-2 at that point, wasn't it?
And if he whipped that hard and low or got anything in the box or a corner, early corner in the game, shot on target, and then to go all the way back home in the space of 13 seconds.
It's disappointing, but as you say, we kept the ball and it shows the intention. And the whole thing we were talking about before the game was hitting the wingers from whether it be from switch from the left back to right wing either way around, or from the centre backs, just hitting those wingers, getting it out wide and getting it high up the pitch. So I think
if you play it like 2 more seconds, I think we end up losing the ball. If you play it 2 more seconds, I'm pretty sure we end up losing possession of the ball, and then they get it. Yeah.
And look how many shirts. I think one of the biggest problems that we've had, and this is something which is trainable and just takes time to move back line and all that kind of stuff. Where is the back line at the moment? So it is fine to have looks like the right back that's pushed up on the opposite side of the pitch. Then you need like people to cover that. So that's something to look at. So at the moment we've got 4 black shirts and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white shirts there. So the other thing that I noticed as well is that the right winger was really sharp, and there was a lovely overlap that was going on as well. And I didn't really see our left winger being coming back for covering that, which we'll come to later on as well.
All right. So my takeaway here is early on we had a chance to be a threat, and we didn't, and that's set the tone potentially for the way that this match went on. Is that a fair assessment?
There's 2 ways of looking at it, because we didn't lose the ball and we got ourselves into an attacking position against what in theory should have been a more dominant team. It's just...
the frustration came for me, the fact that we were literally on the edge of their box, 2 versus 2, and then 20 seconds later we end up losing the ball in the edge of our box in a 6 versus 4.
Yep, right there on the screen.
That was where the frustration... That was the frustration for me, of we've gone from a real promising attack to then being under the cosh early in the game.
All right, I think that's well said. Let's run the tape. Walk us through this next one, please. This next clip.
This one
uh,
really was nice because I think if you have a look at the 10 here, he starts to press as the ball's played to their centre midfielder. He starts to press, but then he did it by himself. But there was no one else to sort of galvanise with him. So he's gone. He's done his job. And then here we've gone back sitting deep, and then letting him play through us again. So that was just a nice one. 'Cause I thought he done really well. He saw the trigger, knew exactly when to press out and step, and it was just that moment of could someone have joined in a little bit quicker and more effectively.
that's Captain Joe, number 10. So,
Yeah,
I mean, he is experienced. He does do a lot of good things. The only thing I wish he was more vocal. When it comes back
yeah,
to a previous conversation we've had about type culture and them not digging each other out, it must be
yeah.
one for all for one kind of thing. If you're digging one person out, you're digging the entire team.
Oh yeah. I think in that moment, it's just that thing. Could he have been
Yeah,
a bit like,
100%.
yeah, let's step, let's get out, like sort of put the pressure on because he stepped out perfectly, put him under pressure, forced him backwards, and it's there. If we could have then cut the angles, but then we let
No
them
help.
sort of come out at us.
Mm.
He
Yeah, I
has a
mean
lot of
that
time.
was one of the bigger issues.
He's a lot of time
Yeah,
to look around, doesn't he? There too. There should be someone on
yeah.
him applying a little pressure, so he's not just hanging out, having all day to look around.
He's at the play
Well,
on the halfway line. I'm pretty sure he is alone, and the closest player is marked by our left back. So he could have stepped and cut past to
yeah,
force
exactly.
one way.
That's Bean again. So Bean is just, I think where he's so young, he hasn't had enough tactical training. He's got the talent to just go forward. So that's what he's just been doing. That's what we do in one. I don't know why George is on it. So it's just what you do is people start training and not going to tell the women to get back and defend the whole time. But this is something that he needs to get in his game. Like he needs that string to his bow to actually be able to defend a bit better. Because as you say,
No,
he's in. What is he doing there? There's no benefit to the team from where we stand with it. I'd say,
that's also
you
got to
know,
come from the left back as well. I think the left back there has got to scream at him saying, "No, like you've got the freedom. I'm here. I'm covering their right winger. You can go. You push on." I think he sort of caught there like I can't step. 'Cause I don't want to get beaten. I don't want to drop back and go to defensive. So he's caught in two minds, sort of thing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the
So I
left
think
back is brand who's new, so maybe he didn't have the confidence to. But yeah, that's one
I
of
don't
the
know if
things where he should have the
it catches it.
confidence
If
to
you
do that.
just play that like another second, see if it catches it. It might cut out just before you see it. Let's see if it does.
My computer is wants to take a break for a second.
Playing up. That's fine. So I'm pretty sure if I try and load it on
There you go. It's
That's right.
should be playing in a second. Sorry, boys. Let's
We need the bathroom room. That's what we're missing is the bathroom room.
yeah. So all right, before we close this point, at this point in the game, we're 5 minutes in. You know, we've had an opportunity. What do you guys think's going through their heads? Because I want to set the stage for those that are new here. Futera United, you know, we're an upstart club. We're in our third season. We've had been multiple. This is our fourth season, 3 completed seasons. We've been promoted multiple times. We've been absolutely crushing people, but at a much lower level. Now we step up in the second round on the FA Cup. We play Navy, a traditional absolute powerhouse. One of you boys, please start first. What do you think mentally is going through the team's thoughts at this 4 minute and 30-minute second mark against this powerhouse?
I think you going? You gonna go,
Lack
Simon?
of
You gonna
belief.
blue?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying lack of belief, and that's where. Honestly, it's one of them things where I don't think that they quite have the hunger to know that they're going to beat them. Like if they knew they were going to beat them, it's like they'd be in their faces. You know what I mean? I think there's a bit too much respect.
Are you basing that on the history of that fact we haven't really won games like this or been competitive here and the players are doubting themselves? So the past success is not necessarily giving them that confidence? Why do you think that is,
We just
given the history?
we're a new team. As you said, we're a new team. We've not played a team of this size before at this level. So it's maybe we have played a team of this size, not at this level sort of thing. So it would be difficult for these guys to believe that they can beat them when they know that they play in the lower league, and perhaps if we can try to get into these teams and have been able to.
George, what do you think? You think that's true? Can you see that in their style of play? What are your thoughts at this 4:30-minute
Yeah,
mark?
you can see we're conservative. That's why I sort of wanted to get these two clips of we're we're sort of afraid to be aggressive on the front foot. But I think they going into it, it was always the fact of they're the better team and we're going to sit back, absorb pressure. Whereas actually these in the first 5 minutes, they didn't look promising at all. We had the better play, the better chances. And I think if we just it's that thing is like if you go too hard too early, you're going to die out later on. But I think I just wanted to see a little bit more less conservative. But then I guess the game plan is to be conservative. So I think in their mind, they're thinking, don't concede early, stay in the game as long as we can. Just keep it a 0-0, keep it a 1-0. Just
Yeah.
do not concede. Because if Navy's got an early goal, I think our young heads, it could be 6, 7, 8. Whereas I think the game plan is just keep it level, stay in the game, be compact, and be a unit.
Okay, yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense. I'm gonna roll clip onto the next one here, and take us through it. So
This
this is
and then this next clip again highlights that. So here, great ball out to the wing. Pause it now. This. So if you see our number 5, he's stopped. So he was making a great run, a little overlap there, and a little pass through to him would have been a great setup. But he's stopped his run. So our 10, I think it is, and shifted inside into trouble. But if you rewind it, you see it's gone to the left. Really good play. And again, if our 5 had made that overlapping run, a bit more aggressive, we're in.
Yep.
The
I'm
number
gonna load it
5
here.
is the left back. Number 10 is up to the centre mid.
Okay. So basically, the example that we're showing up here, I'm gonna pull up the clip and run it again for everyone. Uh, the point is that you're trying to make is that, again, lack of aggression. Walk me through it again for me. I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, so
I think
it's
we were a bit more tactical in this one, aren't you? Not
yeah, this one's
aggressive.
where it's again that communication. If I think the striker is making a run across the defender, and then the 5 makes an overlap. We're pulling the right back wider, so then we've got a chance to build. Whereas if we go back like another split second,
All right. Now we're
if
full
we
screen for
can,
the folks at
so
home. You
here,
guys can see we're about to start the
right. So
clip.
if we look here, so the ball
Yep.
is there. So if 5 goes on the left shoulder and creates width, that means the right back is then isolated in a 2v1. So then our
Yep.
winger has the chance to draw the defender out and go left or shift inside from space. But because number 5 stops, but then right back knows I haven't got defend, I can just stand and it's a 1v1.
All right.
So
Let's
it's just
see it.
that bit more sort of so here, and it's there. It's that moment of the 5 is nothing, then he's by himself.
Look at Jude's, the number 10, look at Jude, look at his reaction on the top left-hand corner. Well, look at it now. You can see, look, gee, that's the
I'm
camera.
gonna pull it back.
If the left back made that run, Jude wouldn't have had to make that run.
Yeah, I'll pause it on it so you can see where Jew is because he had a beautiful little inside slip there, huh?
I mean, like, by the 5 not committing, it gave the right back an easier job.
Yeah, no, totally. I see exactly what. And Jew on that little slip screen there, he was all, I'm calling it a slip screen. That's a American football term. He ran off his defender and had some space. Okay, so that's another instance of where maybe not very aggressive tactically. We should have got up there. Maybe he was told, "Hey, don't overlap because we don't want to be counterattacked." We don't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
know what
yeah.
the coach was saying. Okay, let's take it on this one. We're at the 15-minute mark. Before I run it, what are you thinking at this instance? What are we showing the folks at home?
This is, let me get it up on
Here you go.
This was the chance that this was the big moment where anything could happen. I think we've done everything really well. I think this was just to highlight how good we were going. Like there was nothing really to critique. He done well. He got forwards. He put it across the goal. A different day, the defender scores no goal. He misses it, back post, a little tap in. It was just a great movement.
And it shows counter-attacking tactics. It's clearly
Yeah.
we caught one counter.
If you look again, so we've played 15 minutes. We've had 3 chances where we could have scored, and I think that's just the thing of
Definitely in the ascendancy in the first half.
Yeah, I that was sweet.
But I had to
Man.
bring those guns on in the second half. That's one thing you'll notice is in the second half, there's well, from my see with the clips, there's a Varane. Guess
All right,
I'm not playing Mark the Currency time.
Blue,
Something like that.
I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Could you get a little closer to the mic or just
I
be a
thought
little
I
bit
thought it
louder,
was my
please?
headphones.
Ah,
No,
you should have said something earlier.
no, it just started happening. Really,
Yeah.
it's all good. It's all good. Things are good. So, Blue, right now we've got on screen for the folks. They do see the clip. Any comments on this one before we close on and keep it going through the highlights against Navy?
Roll it.
All right.
This next one is their goal, and this just indicates
That's this
what we.
So
Yeah.
you do that
So
right
the
after
next,
our chance for
yeah.
effects.
So there'll be like 15 seconds, I think, of like poor editing on my side. And I didn't cut it.
Well,
quick
I
enough,
like this
sort of
because
thing.
you can see our reactions. Like, we're gutted, but look how many defenders they have back. Where's the rest of our team? Oh, nice. They got a replay for us here, too. Man. You think Golf would have scored that, Blue?
It was.
But it never got to there. It never got to the striker to find out. That's the left winger.
We've done everything perfect. That's the thing. We've done, like that's exactly what we're gonna do. Put it across the goal, cause trouble, win a corner. It's what a yard off from going in,
Yeah.
and then the corner. This will be skipped, hopefully, and it will go to their goal. Yeah. So if you look, we've got the ball, and then if you look when they score for the cross, it's a
Sure.
great underlap to then cut it back across to then score. What I think we should have done a bit more times.
Like the third clip that you showed us. So I'm going to run it here.
Yeah.
What I'd like to notice is also second half 0-0, right? Very competitive game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Match.
Cheap ball inside, and then they work it back wide. Wing right back goes, underlapping run, shifts it across, tapping. Not tapping, but sort of it's across the danger zone, 6 yard box, anything can happen.
Let's run it
If you
back
just
again.
pause it literally now, see that the right back makes the run.
Sorry. Let's try that again. I'm going to pause.
So you see the right back moving, trying to track him. Great underlap. Caught blindsided on our left back. Looks at the danger zone. And it's a goal. This is what I was saying earlier with our clip when R5 stopped. It's that difference. If R5 kept going, whips it across. Yeah. If you put it in between the sort of 6 yard the penalty spot in that danger zone, anything can happen.
I think if you get back to the start of that clip as well, you'll see the being the left winger, which I was saying earlier, doesn't really defend the ball yet. He doesn't realise that he's got to track that right back. And you see him the last minute realise to start trying to chase after him as far as he knows. But it's not just him. There's the
So
central midfielders don't
we're
track.
screen sharing here,
Yeah.
Blue. Which one's Beam? So we can all be on the same page.
So Bean is actually on the top right hand corner of the screen. Right?
This guy.
No,
No,
far
one
top
more.
right.
Oh.
Next
Top
one
right.
Oh,
up.
left.
Next one up. All the way across. All the way
Literally
across.
just a side where the white player is, I think.
All the way. Keep going right. Keep going right. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
There.
Oh my gosh! So you guys, this is why it's cool doing this with you guys. Cause I'm watching like the guys are close to the ball. You're next level, the guy covering the guy. So I'm gonna run it here, and I'm curious what you guys are talking about.
I believe we've still got forwards. Yes.
I need to fix on my video encoding for next time. Let me. It's gonna take a second here. All right. So I understand what you're saying. We'll run this one, and then we'll go into the next
So
clip.
at the moment,
Yeah,
At the
go ahead.
moment, it's going to go into Ian Bill at central midfield at number 30. Eventually, we're going to lose the ball. But as you can see, the right back and our left winger are both going to want towards the ball. When we lose the ball, we're going to turn it over. Our left winger is going to stay in the same position, and the right back is going to run forward with the rest of the right. So he's going to realise too late what's going on behind it. You'll also see the two centre midfielders essentially just watch too late, watch the basket, and the actual goal scorer comes from deep. So he actually runs
Can
past.
you get any closer? Get any closer to your mic? I'm trying to pick you up, sort of thing.
I think what's happened is when I've been quiet,
Perfect.
the mic's normalised itself.
Yeah, it's better. So I'm running right here. We're watching Beam. Didn't do his job.
He tracks in that yard too late, sort of thing.
Yeah, so he's 2 meters behind him. That's it.
I see what you're meaning. Yeah.
But if you keep it there, if you come back 10 seconds again to the camera, that's it. Right. So just pause it there. Right. So we've also got white players in the middle here, in the middle of the pitch too, right? So it's my point at the screen here, at the bottom there, and the camera front. So essentially, what's going to happen is they're going to run straight past our central midfielders. That's it. And it's actually the guy above him that ends up scoring. The Navy guy next to go along that ends up scoring. So if you let it play with him, you'll see he doesn't make a run in it. He waits until the ball is in the right position and he runs and do it. You play it through.
Blue, you're fading off at the second half of this. We're going to need you to stick that mic right up next to that mouth. We need to hear all of the insights. I can kind of understand you, but
I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. Hey, this is episode 2. We're learning.
Yeah.
Go ahead, George, please.
I'm looking towards that. So
it's all good.
If you check out. Right, so if you pause it there, you've got two players. Got one player that's running from deep right at the centre of the pitch. And he's going to run straight past our central midfielders, and that's the player that's going to score. So our defenders are going to basically miss. They're going to be marking that one player in front. They're going to end up missing him. The central midfielders aren't going to track him back. No one's going to be marking him to the slide and score.
All right. Well, Blue, if you could also move a little bit more central where you were for the camera, then yeah, there we go. We're looking good. Okay.
I'm fighting a losing battle here.
No. Hey, no, you're fine, man. You're fine. You're doing great. So what I'd like to do now is we're going to go ahead and pull up to the next clip. Let's see where we're at. So this was our breakaway here. I'll keep going. Okay. So as I bring the audience back to the screen sharing, this is their goal.
This is their goal.
And we're going
the
to
next one is what I've spoken about previously, is getting the defenders turned, so hitting it over the top. So they do it really well. They had a good chance from it. So they win it in midfield, and then a little set back here, great bit of skill, and then clips over the top. Defenders caught. There it is, and then decent shot. It's just that thing of getting it over the top. The last thing defenders want to do is turn and face their own goal. So that's one thing that I think we could look at doing with our wingers and strikers look pretty quick. So if we can start getting that ball flipped over the top to get the defenders turned, it might benefit us. I think sometimes we're trying to play the lovely, keeping the ball moving, but sometimes actually just a little loft the ball over the top can benefit us.
Yeah, sometimes
I think we're like,
Blue.
I think this team is a very good side, so it's that thing of if we can take what they do and then play it into our style of play, it will only make us better.
I totally agree. Blue, as our resident historian, I'm going to call you that, do you really remember many over-the-top balls? I know we're quick down but I can't recall much of that being our strategy. Deep shots, for sure.
Trying to do it. Yeah, Drew was trying to do it quite a lot. Was it last season? I think it was last season. Yeah,
Blue, we've lost you on the audio again, buddy. It honestly sounds a bit like robotic, like you've got some noise cancellation or something on. But we're not going to leave you hanging to dry. We're going to come back to you because I definitely want to hear. I love the history. I mean, really, for the folks that are just joining us as this club continues to grow, the lore is what makes this really special. And so we're going to keep going and lore. We're gonna tap into the lore. Lore sweet. I'm wearing the lore from the original shirt. I mean, there's not many of these walking around. All right, so I'm gonna bring you back to the clips, George. We're in the 71st minute here. I'm about to run it. Give me your thoughts live.
I think this is just keeping the ball well. I think I was just impressed. You could see them pressing a lot more high up the pitch. Kept the ball ticking, kept it well. I think this is a decent chance for us, if I can remember. And I think this is what I'm saying. We're keeping it well. And I think that's what I highlighted when I said to you, the person that was my player of the match is 30, he's on the floor. I think the way that he is able to pick the ball up in little pockets and use it, that was what I think he was our strongest player most of the game. Like he gets like the little tight
Right
space,
there.
pick the ball up on the half turn and just able to keep it ticking and then wins that foul in the middle of the pitch. Like he
And
was
you said number 30,
really
right?
like instrumental.
It's Ian Beale. Ian Beale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's been fantastic. Last year, for me, he was such a surprise. He was great. He's actually 2 years. This is his third year with the club. I guess last year's surprise was Taku. Right? He got that award.
I think
Go ahead, please.
his knowledge and the way he scans and gets on the half term and just keeps the ball moving like win a free kick in the 70th minute there, little breather, get set, load the box is perfect for us.
Yeah. And you started this conversation about the strength of the midfield, how that all starts there. That's an example, I think, of that coming to life. Let's check in on our
100%.
friend Blue over here. Blue, how are you in the West Midlands? Can we hear you? Not yet. Okay. All right, George, we're in the 77th minute. Let's roll tape. Still 1-0.
Let's have a look. I think we lose it if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, I think I'm back in
I think
business.
they scored on this one. Yes, that is, and this is what I wanted to have the contrast of when you should play out, and when you just got to clip it. I think that one just highlighted the previous one. We kept it ticking, did really well, and then I think we've overplayed on this one. And there's a moment where it's just, can you actually just now recycled once, rather than the keeper, like 3 minutes 22 seconds on your video, it should be.
Yep.
Like, and the
I'll bring
keeper here,
I'll bring the audience back.
This exact moment, you've got. Oh,
It's okay. I'll bring the audience back in once I've got it loaded.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whites, and then 1, 2, 3 of us, and you're trying to play a little neat ball into the middle. When actually it's just okay. Can we just get it long and just clear our lines? At 70th minute, let's just go. Let's just clear it.
Well, and I'll run it here in a second. That's film. We can always say he's been cute with his feet in the past. I think Blue, he even tries to play striker in some of the blowouts, right? So this is an instance, to your exact point. I see a lot of those white jerseys, not much of the Susu and the black. So get rid of it. It's not worth it. Do you think, as a football question for you, is the idea playing out of the back here because we need a goal? So what if we give up another one? Let's try and keep retention, try and get that 2v1 around the midfield somewhere and try and get some opportunity. Why are we playing out the back?
I think a lot of teams have this pressure on you have to play out the back to play football now. Whereas realistically, the best way to score is getting the ball from our goal to their goal as quick as possible. So if you look, they've committed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. Yeah. So that means if we get the ball over that 6 players, we have more chance of scoring. So we've got
Do you
1,
think it's
2, 3,
pride?
4. Yeah, it's just I think some teams think we have to do it rather than just doing the ugly of just getting rid of it.
It's interesting.
I think Hein.
When there's nowhere else he could have put it, really. Realistically, he's not going to be able to give it to anybody else. He has to just kick it out.
That's what you'd hope. That's what you'd want him, I think, to say. But then it's that thing of is he told like here, trying to play a neat ball into midfields, cost us.
Same guy scored again, by the way. And your clip earlier when my mic was down, the guy that chipped it over the top for the other player was that guy again. because that's the top scorer or whatever that they've brought on.
I'm
Number
not sure.
32 is the guy they had to bring on to beat us.
But I think
This
it,
guy.
it just shows it just shows though that we're at a point where it's our it's mistakes that are you can change. Like, they're not massive mistakes. It's like, oh my god, we're in
Yeah.
trouble. It's can the keeper clip it? Can you track your runner? But also, if we finish our chances and we're a bit more front footed, it's a different game, in my opinion.
Well, we would have been even. It could even have been 1-1 at that point. Easily could have been
Yeah,
one. Could have been 2-1 up at that point, to be honest. But yeah, exactly. I think there's some stuff that you can't change, but that's certainly something that you could. And I think maybe it is just recognizing danger.
yeah.
Well, Blue, I want to talk about some danger right now, okay? I pulled up another clip. It's from the 21st minute of the game. I'm going to run it, and you tell me if there was something that was missed on this.
Yeah, so I asked this one to be pulled up because personally, I think if we had VAR, as George pointed out to me earlier, we may have got a penalty on this one. But there's definitely questions to be asked. But I don't blame the referee at all because it's so fast and it's such a slight touch. There's no way that he could have seen it real time.
Yeah, that's fair, and I'm reloading the clip here, and then I'll bring the audience to it. George, we're talking about the penalty here. I was trying to be cute and tease it, but the video wouldn't load. In the 21st minute, goal here, right? It's a 0-0. What does that
This
do to
is
this game?
this the thing again. It's that moments in the game of if we get this penalty and we're going forwards, changes the game.
Quick free kick, by the
Um,
way. So they're obviously.
yeah, I love this. Watch this half turn as well from 30. Unbelievable half turn. Receiving the back foot, little half turn, get the ball forwards. Like real
Oh,
good
through the
play. Nice,
legs.
nice midfield. Great running behind. Slips. I think unfortunate sort of here when he slips on the ball, and then here it's that again.
Then he
My big
steps in.
my big bugbear though, which I could be wrong, controversial. Does he have to go down? Like you're in the box in that moment. Can you try and keep the play alive? Can you try and finish the play? Because okay, you might feel a bit of contact, but if the ball's close enough, the keeper's coming out. If he stays on his feet, whips that across the goal, I think he's trying to go down. That's my big bear. Could be wrong.
No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But that's Fu again.
It's my boy.
I was lucky to get that ball to him in the first place. But that's the thing. They're
Yeah,
both stretching
he's
for it.
done so well. But there, I just
He
He
definitely
got
can.
stepped on.
But there's no way the ref can see that when you go like this is VAR territory.
yeah, this is like we're slowing it down, we're looking at it. But I just think could he have saved his feet, shielded the ball, keeper's coming out.
I
It's all
mean,
the hypothetical, isn't it?
sir, he's stepping right on his foot. So yeah,
Definitely a clip that was worth bringing up. Let's put it that way.
oh, oh man, dirty. All right,
And
well,
then he
yeah,
steps in. Wait for it. Wait for it. Shreds all over him. No, maybe it wasn't that bad.
yeah. Okay, well, this
It's
is
another
Yeah.
example. First half, if that was a penalty, so there's multiple chances.
oh,
I
who?
do agree with George, who was saying a while back when we would first watch this, the entire match that is, he thought that number 30 Ian Bill was his man of the match.
Oh, unbelievable player.
We've got a fantastic central midfield, haven't we?
Yeah.
No, that's well, that was interesting. So let's put the final thoughts on this match, and then let's turn the page. So when we talked about the agenda, we're going to review. Thanks George and Blue for breaking down those clips. That was really interesting, really insightful, and
What
some
about
of the
your clip? What about
opportunities.
your clip?
No, no,
We've
no,
not got
no.
your clip.
You
We
got a
got my.
throwing clip, haven't
Okay.
you?
we are gonna talk about the throw-in clip at the end. We'll talk about
Okay,
Villa, the
okay.
two loves of
Oh
my
no,
heart,
my
Villa,
sorry,
and then
mate.
we'll talk about
Have I burst
Futera.
your bubble? I
No, no,
didn't mean
no.
to break your secret.
We got our two clips, but
Wasn't
for
my
the folks at home,
intention.
no, that's a great tease. You're just such a great co-host right there, teasing the audience, bringing them in. So we got a Villa and Susu Futera United throw-in conversation at the end. We're gonna tease it a little bit, but right now, before we do that, let's turn the page. Blue, I want to go for you first. We'll lose 2-0 to Navy. And what you can argue, right, was maybe more of a mental struggle than it was a physical struggle, which is probably a good thing. What are your takeaways from that match? And as we turn the page, what are you looking forward to?
I think I agree with what Mark said, which is basically if we play that way against any of the teams in our league, we'll win every match. So that's one of the bigger positives to take from it. And if I was a traditional sort of UK commentator, that's one of the matches where at the end of it you'd say that the score didn't reflect the match because we could easily have come away with something there. I mean, we should have had a goal, and arguably we could have prevented their goal. So it was a much closer match than the scoreline reflected, in my opinion.
All right, I would agree. I also like that, right? I'll pat on
Yeah.
the back for the Susu boys. George, what do you think?
I think listening to it was a very different game to then watching it. I think watching it, we were at moments could have been more front footed, but I think collectively as a unit, we were strong. If that's if that's a team that's what two steps, three steps above us, what league are they?
They're well, it depends on how you look at it. The T3, I believe, at the moment. So
Okay,
that
so
that
yeah,
would that would put us one above us, but that's semi-pro to professional.
like if we can do that against teams that above us, we should walk our league. But then I don't want the lads to think that our games will be easy.
Well, the other thing to throw in as well is they were at the time, I don't know if they still are, the most informed team in Thai football and
Wow,
top of the league.
Yeah,
wow.
and that we talked about it to start the podcast, right? You showed the clips. We had opportunities, didn't take advantage, and played kind of scared, or let's play conservative, I think is a fair word.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's a better way
Yeah.
of putting it.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good recap. Now, before we actually talk about what's next for the club on the agenda, I would like to thank our show sponsor. It's the second show in a week. Sorry, the second show. And honestly, it's the only sponsor we've had for this, and we are so lucky to have them. Up on the screen here, we've got the kicksapp.com. For those that watched last episode, saw our short, this is the ultimate football coach companion. Get the most out of your team because we're only going one direction, boys. Isn't this true? We are only going more and more AI. We're only getting more and more
Yep.
analytics driven, aren't we? So, George,
Yep.
I'm going to go to you first. How is a solution like this helping the modern day football, and what is the value prop here?
So for me, it's all stats. So I'm a big sort of stats keeper, and I keep a lot of stats for all the teams that I coach. And it helps then look at how you can plan sessions and plan match days, and then also in the kicks up in the future, looking at building session plans, sort of along with the stats and the player management and all that sort of stuff. So you can keep um, like social, psychological, different features of the player inside the app, and then be able to keep stats at the same time. So what's like one of my players currently, they've got 86% goal involvement. So they've had 3 assists, 8 goals, and as a team, we scored 13. So it's able then to me to be able to track that they're sort of a very vital part of the team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, that's probably a great way also to help communicate for those players that are more analytical, giving a different perception.
Yeah.
Blue, I know you're familiar with this app as well. What stands out? Like, what's your favorite feature you think, the most interesting one to you? And then, again, thank you to the Kicks app. We'll hop back into the show. We'll talk about what's coming next for Futera United. Blue, final thoughts for us, please.
I've actually got a slightly different take on the Kicks app this week.
Sweet.
So a friend of mine is doing the badges to become, or the courses to become a scout, professional scout,
Very nice.
but he's finding the workload too much. Like he's not used to watching full games and making reports of everything that's going along because even though, like me, he's watched a lot of football, he's played a lot of Football Manager, he's never actually been in a professional game or even a semi-professional game. And there are professional footballers and people that he recognises on his course, you know. So it's sort of the higher up you go, I said to him, you'll start coming across international players and all kinds of different people in your network and all this kind of stuff. But ultimately, he needs that foot up to get him to the same level as them to be able to take the right notes, take the correct notes. So I introduced him to your app because he can watch the match and he can take all the notes that he needs through your app.
Yeah.
So how much he's used it so far, it's only a day or two ago that I told him about it and he's gone on holiday. Shout out to Ratman. But yeah, it's got more uses to it than maybe you first think.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Sounds.
All right. Well, again, thank you to the show sponsor. What I'd like to do now, as we continue this show, moving forward, is we've got a lot. Futera United's always got a lot of things going on, right? Again, for those that are joining, the best way to get involved is hop in the Discord, write down, check the ticker. We've got information about where you can find us on different socials. Again, please just reach out to us directly. We're here. Within the Discord, yesterday, we dropped a little teaser to drop a wallet address for those that are actually holders of the club. We got some things in store. We're not going to say anything right here, but please do drop in that wallet address. Again, that's what makes this club fun, is that everyone can kind of have their own taste on it. Blue, I'm going to go to you. What are you looking forward to? What is the next event? What is the next kind of date, exciting thing you're looking forward to, big or small, in the Futera United Susu world?
Just to build up to the season now and the other cup games that will be coming up. So I think we've tried to look this up before, sort of semi-unsuccessfully, and it's January, we believe, to start the season, don't we? We haven't had any official confirmation on that yet. So we're just sort of really the FA Cup was a trial period for us, for many of the players, to see if they were good enough to play in the league with us. So there's really, we're still in reflection period from the cup game and going forward to try and work out who our squad is for the coming season. So yeah, we're still at that exciting point really where we haven't properly signed players yet. So we've still got that to do yet. We're still going to have the votes yet on who stays with the team and who doesn't, because we've got to cut the squad down.
Yeah, I love the votes. I love the votes. It's the combination of the technology and the football manager mentality.
And isn't there a kit vote coming up as well or something like that that they hinted at?
Yeah, yeah, that one will be fun. I see the moon. You got the moon camo over your left shoulder there, Blue. I like the
Yeah,
jerseys,
I've
looking
got
good.
both of these are both the two new shirts for this season. Not the greatest lighting here at the moment, I will admit that. But yeah, this is the away shirt, Lawrence's famous moon camo,
Yeah, shout out Lawrence, our resident whale, and that's a compliment in
resident
the
whale.
on-chain world. All right,
We'll get him on at some point.
we need to. We need to. Uh, he's been part of to the Futera United meetups. All right, so let's recap the show. We've talked about last game, talked about some things that we're looking forward to. George, we teased about throw-ins. Okay, what I'm gonna do, and for those that have seen it, our last episode we talked a little about it. Here's my theory on throw-ins. The game of football, as we talked about, is getting more and more analytical. We've got AI apps that we're talking about now. Any team is looking for any advantage. They're spending millions and millions on nutrition. They're doing it on the fitness staff. And yet there's opportunities on the field that are not being addressed. And that's what I'd like to bring is my dumb American brain. I look at this sport. Why are you kicking with your feet? You should be using your hands, like basketball and my football and lacrosse and all these other great American sports like baseball that use your hands. And there's an opportunity to retain possession on throw-ins. That's as simple as I want to say. Retain possession on throw-ins. Yes, are there better opportunities, such as maybe trying to get the ball in the right direction, which whether that's to keep the ball and maybe go back to your keeper, or actually try and make an attacking threat out of it. I'm sick and tired of seeing these throw-ins being wasted. These are professionals.
You'll
Yeah, go ahead, George.
you'll like so since our chat, I went away, I did some soul searching, and then with my girls' team, we did a bit of throwing practice, had a little routine, and we played an away game. And their coach genuinely said, "Oh my word, I love that routine. I'm gonna steal that." And it was that sort of thing. I was like, I'll let I'll let Plants know that. And then my men's team are a little bit higher up, a little bit more competitive. We had a half. Obviously, I like the stats. Obviously, the app I keep stats. We had 7 unsuccessful throw-ins in the first half. So in the half time, we sort of I pulled the midfielders and the throw in and said, look, just please, we've spoken about it, just do a little bit of movements, like one go left, one go right, this sort of stuff. And we had 5 out of 5 successful throw in second half. So
Oh,
I'm
Plants, the new American super coach, comes
And
out of nowhere to manage the US men's national team.
Blue.
Susu.
No, I only want to do one thing. I want to do throw-ins. I'm not going to pretend to know better about how we do overlaps and creating opportunities, though I do have this idea
I've
that
shouted you out. I shouted you out.
I,
I said my American throwing
I,
coach has
I
told me this and
that is
kept
true.
stats me. I've given you.
And Blue created on Football Manager Futera United, I think 3 or 4 years ago we first started, put all the players' name in there and gave the holders coaching roles. I asked to be the throw-in coach. I think it was the first thing that me and Blue ever actually may have talked about. And he goes,
I
"That's
had to
not
put
a
him in a
role."
set piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "That's too broad." No.
Trust me, in a few years, at 100%. You look how Arsenal are taking set pieces, how seriously they take set pieces. Throwing coach is coming in next in a couple of years, guarantee it.
Absolutely.
Plants is the new Ted Lasso. He's the in real life Ted Lasso.
Okay. And like I know people watching this maybe I'm frivolously. No, I've done some research here. Let me just drop a couple stats for you. Right now, there are 80% retention on throw-ins in the Premier League. Okay? On average, I should have this in front of me, shoot. But in general, they get about 68 possessions a game. If you're able to bump up that retention rate from 80% to 95% and you keep the same goals per average possession, what this means for a Premier League team is keep everything else the same. Lose 15% of your throw-ins less equals 4.33 goals per season per 60 games. Right? 4 goals, and again,
And
there are
that can keep a team up.
it can. And
Yeah.
also on top of that, there's other benefits. If you retain the possession, players don't have to run as far. They don't have to play defense. They hate running and playing defense. They like looking good with retention, with actually having the ball. And if you're able to on these plays get a little momentum in a direction, it may be able to lead to a nice crossing opportunity, little switch of play. Those things are extra. Let's just keep the ball. Let's just keep the ball, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
I
So
think it's
go ahead, Blue,
one of the
please.
important things. So, not just keeping the ball. Let's say we're a team that is, let's say we're Brentford, right? With Frank's team, who, by the way, I think is a fantastic manager. I do keep bringing it up. He is not going to necessarily think that he's going to keep ball the whole time, so he's going to use it as an attacking opportunity. So it's another set piece, like a free kick or a corner or something like that. It's another opportunity to get you into a better position on the pitch where you might be able to score that goal that gets you the point that keeps you up this year.
Or maybe
It's
not
it,
letting your opponent score. Because the clip I'm
yeah,
trying to pull up right
exactly.
now,
So
it
retention is obviously a massive thing, but it's not something that every team can expect. But every team can still use this to some extent.
yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. George, I'm just curious as I'm delaying to pull up this clip. What did the team say when you looked at them? Like, we're gonna practice throw-ins today.
I got a lot of abuse. I can't lie. It was a lot of abuse was held towards me. The girls less so because they sort of bit more respect, but the men's team, yeah, on a cold Wednesday night in the middle of November, it was we're doing what? Yeah, it was a quick bit about throw-ins, a little routine and a little chat, and then I think it was quite lucky 'cause the next game we did struggle on throw-ins. So I sort of could have my smug face in the change room and be like, "I told you."
Wow, I love that. Okay, here's the clip that I sent you guys. We were talking in our chat, and again, this is not just fake for the viewers at home. Like this is what I'm really interested in for. So here's a throw in. This is Aston Villa getting their absolute ass kicked by Chelsea. I mean, for those that watch this game, it was a bloodbath. They're down 2-0 at this point, and I think it started the second half. how different this game could have been. Watch this throw in from these professionals getting paid millions and millions of pounds.
Haven't even been able to put 4 or 5 passes together today. Whether that's down to a lack of confidence, a lack of belief, or whether it's just simply being Chelsea's organisation. Watkins.
All right, I'm gonna play
So
it again.
lazy, isn't it? It's
They're gonna show us a replay.
Imagine
so
if you score
lazy.
that. Look at this stuff is crappy throwing.
First of all, he throws it in. I'm giving live commentary on the video before it's doing it. Next time I won't do that. But watch what's happening as he's getting ready to throw this in. Here's where my brain's going. If everything goes right, what happens? This guy's going to return it back to this guy, and then he's going to kick it back here, and then they're going to go all the way in this. If everything goes right, that's what's going to happen here. First of all, don't go the wrong direction. All right, I want to hear your breakdown. Yeah, please.
Interesting thing, right? George, when you were at primary school, when you did throw-ins, was the only thing you ever did take the ball and pass it back to the throw-in taker? Because that's all I can remember doing at primary school.
Really? No, I was always told. Throw it on the line.
It was always like, okay, pass it back to them because they've got the space to do something with it. So I don't know if it's something which is just sort of like messed up in our culture that's never really been picked up.
And I get it. These guys are so talented. It's actually not a bad play to kick it right back to that guy because he's so elite on his first touch. He could kind of ping that thing. It's kind of like a free pass. And I'd be okay with that if that was the mentality. The mentality here was not that. It was, let's keep the ball. That was actually the thought process. And again, look at the scoreline. It's 2-0. Bill's getting whacked, and it's right before halftime. And they almost scored on this inbounds play. So I'm going to run it here, and let's talk about some more things.
Score that. Look at this stuff is crappy throwing.
Yeah, so it's a defensive throwing, isn't it? Chelsea are in their own half with the ball, so they're putting themselves in a vulnerable position even further by doing so. So you see how close he is to the edge of the box there. And that's
Look
a
at where
defensive
he
throw,
throws it. First of all, if this wasn't a professional athlete, look at where that bounces. It hits his shin, then his knee, and he's catching it running. I mean, you don't realize it because he's a god at this sport. But, like, that's incredibly hard. This throw is so lazy. First of all, then he throws it, and this is something you have to... He stares. What are you doing? First of all, get on the pitch so you can help. Move. Create, like...
It's like you said, though. What are they trying to achieve here?
There's
are they
no
hoping
upside.
he just...
The upside is that you become the 80% to keep it.
Just fix it.
Yeah.
That's what he should have done originally, though. He should have just originally threw it to... I think that's probably... either Badiashile or Tosin Adebayo. I'm not quite sure at that point, but I can't remember who wears number 6 now for Chelsea. But yeah, that's who Cucurella... I mean, you can see why Cucurella gets a lot of stick, though.
Yeah.
He does do it. He makes a lot of silly mistakes. That's the problem with him. Like, he's not a £40 million player, let's put it that way.
Well, yeah, everyone looked like a £40 million player in that game. But the point here was that this could be a momentum-changing opportunity, and that's something that we can't have when I'm gonna say another thing. Like, there's some of these possessions that are 3 or 4 minutes long, and it's so boring. They're just kicking it around the back end and just keeping and like probing, and it's a whole dance. And then they get the ball and they throw it in like an asshole. It's crazy.
Did you find the Futera clip?
I'm in right now. You guys can see my screen. For the audience at home, us three are large. But on the screen right now, I'm in our Google Drive, and I don't see it.
If you go to the chat, if you go to the chat that we've got associated with this call,
sure.
It is the Zoom chat.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And I've
Here we
marked it.
go.
Can we put it in the Google file? Or you got it?
No, we're good. We're
He's
good.
got it now. It's just because that window got lost at the back.
Yeah. Okay, so let's bring this conversation as I pull this up. We're talking about, so far today, we've talked about the Navy game, things we're looking forward to, which we're talking about the voting, the kits got some love, the trials, right? We've got some trials still, don't we? And then now we're talking about throw-ins. Blue, these trials, do you have any idea if we're going to have kind of similar as the past where we've had 100, 200 folks show up, or do you think this is going to be a little bit more a little bit more closed circuit? What's your thoughts on that?
It depends if we need them. I mean, the thing is, it might not be necessarily trials per se, because we've already got a full squad of players. So what it is it's whittling. We've actually got over it. So you see the
Oh.
start of an NFL season, right? Hard knocks. It follows the team start with, let's say, 40 players, and they've got to get down to, what is it, like 27?
Mm-hmm. No, it goes from 130 or so, and you get down to your 53-man roster that are active, and you can protect them. And then you can have this little practice squad of 13 additional people. But at any
Yep.
point, somebody from a different team, 29 other teams, can come in and take one of those 13 players. They have to go to your 53. You're active. So you got to kick off one of yours, steal one from a practice squad, or you can keep those practice squads guys forever. They're kind of like a free agent pool for everybody at any time, but they have to go to your
Well,
active roster.
what I'd say at the moment is the entire team is in that practice. Well, no, the new people are in that practice squad kind of thing where other people could come in and pinch them because we haven't technically signed them. But we are in that process of whittling from, I think we're at something like 35, 40 players at the moment, and we'll need to probably drop about 5 to 10 players at least.
Yeah.
So that's what we might decide though is let's take strikers for instance. You might want to drop every single striker that we've got because I don't think any of them are good enough. So at that point, we just then will go out and trial for another striker. I mean, the hope is that that wouldn't happen. But do you understand where I'm coming from? So at the moment, we don't necessarily need to put out open trials for players. But what we do need to do is whittle the squad down. So the hopefully we'll get some training footage and we'll get a lot of friendly matches between now and the start of the
Yes.
season. And those will enable us to then watch the players, make the decisions that we want to make. Then the votes will go up. Everybody that owns a Futera United NFT will be able to vote on that, and then they'll either get booted from the squad or they'll get signed. So that
How many players from the Navy game would you want to see start the first league game?
Great question. I'll
It's
pull
a
up the
long
team sheet.
pause.
that's a
Don't worry.
long pause because I actually think it's probably like 9 or 10 of them.
Here you go.
Yeah,
Team
So
sheet's
yeah.
up.
film the goalkeeper, left back Ram. I think I'd take the throw up at the moment. I don't know if Pang played right back, started right back. I'm not sure. Yeah, so Pang
This
started
isn't.
right. So I would go film Ram, Pang. I would go at the moment Coonan to it. Although we do have Win and forgetting another
I'm
player.
saying. I'm saying start the first league game. So these might be squad players, but
No, I'm
how many of
starting
this
this.
11
I'm
He's
starting
starting them.
are
this.
you starting in the first league game? Yeah.
I'm starting every single one of these, and the only change up might be Prue for Nui, in which case I'll put Fu at right wing and put Prue at centre forward.
Why?
So, okay. Well, I'll change this question. Sorry. So you've got the trials, you've got the friendlies. What position do you think we need to strengthen?
Okay, right. So centre forward we need to strengthen, and we need to
Yeah,
strengthen left back and left wing.
yeah. So if we've got trials, you're saying them three positions are the ones we're really trying to sort of find some players to fill them positions.
So at the moment we're looking at Dill, Dill, who's got number 2 at the moment, is actually a right wing or a left wing.
Yeah.
He's actually been in and out of the team for the last couple of years. He's stuck around and basically put the work in, but he's been in and out of the team over the last couple of seasons. The He's very skillful, but he's very small. Is basically the problem with him. I there's as I say there's an argument for Baz at right back or for Corpan in midfield, but I wouldn't touch the midfield at the moment.
Midfield
Some
three for me are the players that I'm saying I'm happy
Yeah, I mean,
from
some
what I've seen,
people,
sort of thing.
Taku will have an off game, right? And Taku will look absolutely terrible. At fair play, like maybe he's inconsistent, right? But you get so much energy from him. And when he does have a
Yeah.
good day, he has a really good day. So, yeah, I mean, I, as you say, strength is a different. What we got at the moment, that is probably my starting 11.
Yeah.
But it's so difficult to sign players from the point that we are at the moment, from where we are, because we're almost at that point where to sign like somebody who's not at a team at all, they're not good enough, and we're
Yeah.
not really able
Have
to.
we not got the pulling power to bring players in, do you reckon, then from the step above to then say, look, come here, build with us, we're going to go up and then progress
Well,
from there or not?
we do, but do we have the money? Or do we want to pay the money? Because they'll
Okay.
basically be coming
Yeah.
from a full-time wage to a semi-professional
Yeah.
wage. And it
We
also, we're not allowed to give them full-time contracts because we're in a semi-professional league. So when
Yeah.
we were in the Bangkok Premier League, it being technically classed as an amateur league, even though we were playing semi-pro, like training that way, playing at that level, we weren't allowed to give the players semi-pro contracts because it was against the league rules. So you kind of constantly fighting both sides there a little bit.
Yeah.
and we can't and the thought process was exposure, right? Maybe we could provide exposure, social media first, use like blockchain type technology for that exposure. Double edged sword though. You get too much exposure, they're going to leave if we can't offer them contracts.
Well, yeah, definitely with the young players. I would argue that Nui is a good example of us pulling in people that perhaps shouldn't be with us.
Ah,
This is like a double, two sides to this coin. So Nui is ex-Thai international, has played like 10 games for the Thai team. However, the Thai national team has in the past picked players from League Two, League Three, and not even the top teams in League One. Depending on what's going on, perhaps it's a bit of money being exchanged. Perhaps somebody doesn't want their players to go. Perhaps somebody does want their players to go. Or perhaps the FA is just
That's
making a point.
interesting.
wow.
Yeah.
So I knew he was a Thai international. He holds that accolade. I don't think he was ever a top tier Thai
Yeah.
striker.
Yeah.
But we have pulled him in. He is with us. He could have been
Like,
playing for a T3 team or a T2 team, perhaps not getting on the pitch, but getting a decent wage out of it. But because we
like
got
Plant,
coached in, go ahead, mate.
like Plant said, is that exposure also? You look at like Ian Bill, like from me watching the game, I'm thinking he'll get snapped up surely, or is he sort of one that's bedded into the team and won't leave?
Yeah, dedication is a lot of it. It's what's keeping them around. They
Yeah.
love the team. They love the coaches. They love the way they actually love the way that we are involved and interact with them. If they were at any of these other teams, they wouldn't get this. And I'm going to get a
Yeah.
podcast made about them. The
Blue.
the best that they would get is our friends over at the Thai Football Podcast. Shout out to Dale, who might mention them or might have somebody do a piece where they go to their ground and watch their match, but they wouldn't get
Yeah.
this. So the players absolutely adore it.
George, I'll give you an example. When we lost last year in the FA Cup because Jew missed a penalty kick, it was brutal, and the players were really upset. And so Mark and a couple of the guys DM'd the holders and said, "Hey, will you send us a little video?" So I took a 10-second video. Hey, much love. Always rooting for you guys. Blah blah blah. Send it. They put it together and showed the players, and apparently they loved it. Seeing everyone from around the world that supported it,
Amazing.
cheered theirs.
Amazing.
So like, those are things you can tap into, but only at some point. Dollars speak, right? And
Well,
we are gonna have a wonder kid, and we're not gonna be able to
Yeah.
keep. We got to progress.
rather comedy, I was asked to present a couple of the team awards as well. So I had to record videos
Oh
and
yeah, on
deliver.
Twitter. That was great. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, this we could talk about
Well,
the
I don't know if
sandbox.
I think they probably end up maybe getting put up on Twitter, but yeah, I just recorded them in here, sort of, I think Taku got Player of the Year kind of thing. So I just recorded a video saying,
Oh, class.
congratulations, Taku's won such. But that's how the players get I mean, they probably 90% of them probably can't speak English, but they don't really
Yeah.
need to. They see me wearing a Futera United shirt in the UK, which has got, the Premier League. So it's not as if we need to go to the Thai league to watch football. We're there because we want to be and because we care.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I think that was well said. It really fits into what we're looking forward to as well, which was our second agenda item. So what I'd like to do now is let's put a bow on our third agenda item, which was the love of throw-ins. We are ready to talk about our own Futera United on this throw-in. So let's run clip for 14 seconds.
This is the first time you've seen this, isn't it, Plants?
It is. Woo!
No, that's not even it.
Wait, no, he's going the right direction.
Yeah, it is it. Is that it?
That is a beautiful ball. Okay.
Let me keep it catches it.
And
Yeah.
I did not show our fans at
position.
home. I'm going to pull that back up because I forgot to show it to the fans at home. But you guys had an opportunity to hear it, which is not nearly as exciting.
Absolute classic.
We're going to go ahead and get this loaded and we'll bring you guys in.
How much of it was meant, though?
One more time. Say that again.
How much of it was meant?
Oh.
Like how planned
it wasn't rehearsed.
How did it go how it was meant to go?
I think it's one of those things where it just worked out because
There's a few dodgy bounces that help us out along the way.
There are. This is the first time I've seen this clip. You guys get to see my facial reaction, but we haven't actually run it for the audience at home. We will run it in a second as this is getting loaded. But a couple of things that I'd like to say before folks at home see this. First thing is we're going away from our goal. That's the right direction to score. I like that. I also like that he takes like 15 steps. You should always take the steps. They don't call you back. It's literally like the refs don't care. They care more about where you put it with your feet on the field than they do if you take a third of the field running up the sideline. Always do that. So he does both those things that I love. Another thing that he does is it looks like he shooed his teammate saying, go this direction. There's some form of communication. I love the form of communication. Now, I don't think shooing it live so everyone can see is the best way of doing that. And in future podcasts, we'll talk about some basic throw-in opportunities from basketball just to get the ball in and retain possession. And let's run a clip now with everyone so they can see what we're talking about. So again, going in the right direction. I like that he takes ground, going up the field. And the third is the communication with the teammate. Taking ground, up the field communication. Now he retains it. Now here's another thing I like to say. When he gets the ball, he knows what he's doing with it before he gets the ball. It's not like, oh, it arrives at my feet. Oh, crap, what am I going to do? No, he has a plan. And honestly, it looks like his teammate is part of that plan. To George's point.
One pass, 3 players out of the game.
Right. And it's also not dribble. Now, here's the other piece. And we're going to run it, and I want your guys' thoughts. But as my brain's firing on this thing, if all things go poorly, what happens? We've got 16 to 20 yards up the field, meters, up the field, and then we just switch possession. You get to opportunity to get set up on defense, you're okay. If you go the other direction or in the middle of the pitch, there's opportunity for potential disaster. So it is somewhat high upside, right? There's a little bit of upside, extremely low floor. We absolutely love that, right? What Bronco. So before I run the clip, any thoughts from you guys so far where we're at in this throw-in? Because I'm pretty excited.
Like I said, if we lose possession, we can counter press pretty quickly with a 3 versus 3 and then a 2 versus 1. So we're pretty set defensively if we do lose possession, which is quite nice.
Yeah, agreed. And as we run this, I think this is the part that Blue, you got excited about.
Yeah, well, this is where you get it out to your playmaker, Jew, straight around the corner, and because he hits that with his left foot, he can't, you can see he gets, he overhits it. But just think if that had have worked. So really what I'm saying is when I've said to you to bring this up, I agree with George, this is not something that they've trained and practiced and then done on the pitch. This is by accident. But had they have trained this is something that you could train. What they've accidentally done here is a trainable set piece.
And Blue.
Which, immediately gets it switched out to the other side of the pitch. It takes out, so we took out 3 people with the first ball, we took out 4 people, and then you've just got the back 4 there. So you're basically 4 and 3 in their favour. But still, who knows what can happen from here,
Blue, I got a question for you. And George, you too. if you don't throw the ball in 3 seconds, 4 seconds, does it really matter? Is there truly a clock?
No,
I'll answer it
there's
for you.
no
No.
clock.
Why are these players throwing it in? Unless you're damn sure it's going exactly. The play didn't work to get it in, run it again. There is no
It's
clock.
referee's discretion. It's referee's
Yeah,
discretion.
it's all
So
Okay.
depending on the game situation, what the score is, what the referee's feeling, what the
What do
throwing taker's doing. You've
The
got
threshold, very
you've got
high.
like, I'd say 5 to 7 seconds. I think you've got if you're being realistic to throw the ball in.
So I'm going to give you an example. In American basketball, if you do not throw it in 5 seconds, the other team just gets the ball 100% every single time. So what happens
penalty.
is around 4 seconds or 5, the defense goes like this, gets really tight, and then you get forced in and it gets all crazy. Here, if you got to take an extra half second, take your extra half second. You know what I'm saying? So these throw-ins don't need to be so as aggressive and time sensitive as they are, as we're stealing grounds up the patch.
You said like this, but I can't actually see you. Is that
Yeah.
my fault that I can't see? I
No,
can only
that's
see like your
his fault.
No, that's
LinkedIn
me.
profile.
I'm talking to the folks at home as are you guys.
Okay, I was gonna reply to be
Yeah,
like, but I was like, I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So
But I think
we'll run
so.
this.
So futsal, like an indoor football, you have 5 seconds to kick the ball in, or
Okay.
4, maybe 4 or 5. But I think that'll get implemented in a few seasons. They will because
They
it
should.
is very. Sorry, I just noticed that throwing technique. What was that throwing technique? I've just seen that he gets really low. The throwing taker.
I think that's just him trying to not break the rules because, as Blue will attest,
That was very. I've watched off the ball, but I didn't watch him, and I just watched him, and he's
like
made his body
bound
in
to the
two by
ball.
the looks of it.
There are some odd throwing techniques in Thailand.
That's
He's
great.
proper like.
Let's watch in super slow mo. That'll be fun. Look at him go. He gets her. Look at him stealing ground. Let's take every step we can.
Still going. Oof. That's a proper oof, isn't it?
But he comes on the pitch right away to give himself as an option, right? He wasn't staring there like Cucaracha or whatever that guy's name was from Chelsea. So
Cucurella.
Cucurella. It's even a better name.
Well, of course, he had to get back on the pitch. Traditionally, you'd have to pass it back to him.
Also, that little run from the midfielder there. Can't see it now. The basically second forward.
The one that's facing us.
A little inside run there. I quite like that.
That'll be due again.
Up here at the top.
Draw the defender out. Quite like that. Number 30, yeah, it
That's
is.
Ian Bill. That's Ian Bill again.
Ian Bill. What a guy.
When I was watching the match earlier for the second time, I saw something I had noticed before, and that was Ian Bill lost the ball on the opposite side of the pitch and literally just pressed him by himself and ended up sliding and taking the player out and the ball on the opposite side of the pitch. He literally ran from one side all the way to the other side pressing and ended up getting the ball. He's an animal. He's an absolute animal.
Well, Blue, I think that is a very fitting way to bring this all together, right? The team is growing. We kind of become one big beast. We need to keep this thing going, whether it's us giving love from the sidelines or giving advice to the coaches and manager. By we, I mean you two, giving advice to the coaches in the manager office. I really always love seeing that Discord. It helps me learn the game. So let's put a bow on this. Thank you, everyone, for joining for episode 2 of the Susu podcast. Today, we talked about the Navy football match. We lost 2-0, but really, the scoreline was not indicative. Go check out the beginning of this. Go see those highlights. Then we popped in, talked about things we're looking forward to. Got kits on the horizon, squad cuts on the horizon. Maybe in addition to 2, we could use one at center forward along the left wing, or I think left back as well. Blue, you said. Then, again, show sponsor. Thank you to thekicksapp.com for popping in and supporting our show. Also, teaching us about AI and football. That's good for us to keep our football knowledge. And then, we teased about the American thinks that there's an opportunity to change the sport and throw-ins conversation. But seriously, next show we will talk more about the stats of why this is a good idea. And then you can make a decision for yourself. Blue, give you the honor of ending this episode. Any final last words for Susu Nation?
As always, Futera Susu. happy Christmas. If we don't make another podcast before Christmas, we'll see you afterwards.
Beautiful. Thank you, Blue. Thank you, George. I appreciate both of your guys' time. Susu. Next time, everyone.